So the Blood Samurai 2 devs messed up again. After re-releasing the game this month following a year-long shutdown, they announced today that they want to remake the game from scratch because it's so broken. They said the code is a mess, bugs are everywhere, and it's just easier to start fresh. They're working on a new version, tentatively called Blood Samurai Senso, which they claim will keep the core elements of BS2, but with better gameplay and more balanced races. They also revealed that the recent animation updates in BS2 were tests for Senso, with more details to be shared soon. Some people might think it's a good idea to make a new game, believing the developers can improve on the original Blood Samurai 2. But it's a bit more complicated than that. The game was released 4 years ago, and initially had a solid player base of a few thousand players. However, things quickly went downhill due to numerous bugs, pay-to-win races, and a lack of content. The player count dropped drastically, eventually averaging just 25 players before the game was shut down. After being closed for about a year, the game was re-released this month and unexpectedly gained over 500 players, sometimes even reaching 1,000, which no one expected from a game that was practically dead. However, they wiped everyone's inventory, forcing all players to start from scratch after the re-release. That's the history of Blood Samurai 2 as much as I remember it. Now, there are several problems with the current situation. The first issue is that people simply can't trust the developers to make a good game. They already let BS2 die once, and now, when it's back and in a decent state, they want to let it die again by focusing on a new game. The devs mentioned that they'll try their best to support Blood Samurai 2 once the new game is ready, but that's hard to believe given the game's troubled history. The community just doesn't trust the developers. The second issue is that a lot of people have already spent money on this game, particularly on races. Blood Samurai 2 has always been known for its pay-to-win race re-rolls, and many players spent Robux on the game a few years ago. But as I mentioned earlier, they wiped everyone's inventory, so players lost everything they bought. While they didn't offer any restoration, which is understandable since it might not be technically possible, it still upset a lot of players. Now, after the re-release, people have spent more Robux, but feel like they've been scammed again. If the developers focus on a new game, BS2 is likely going to be left behind, making the money players spent on it feel wasted and unnecessary. So, what do I think about this? For me, it's hard to believe that the developers will actually deliver a good game that satisfies the players. And even if they do create a quality game, the players who supported Blood Samurai 2 from its early stages are likely to feel betrayed. But wait, they just did another announcement. Well, initially, the developers stated that Blood Samurai 2 was too problematic to repair effectively due to its flawed code. They announced that creating a new game, Blood Samurai Senso, would be a more viable solution, promising improved gameplay and better balanced content. However, following community feedback, the developers have since reversed their stance. They now emphasize that their primary focus is on Blood Samurai 2, and they have committed to fixing bugs and adding new content to the existing game. This change in messaging raises several questions. First, the developers indicated that Blood Samurai 2 was too problematic to fix, but now they are promising ongoing support and updates, which is really weird and just makes me question this situation even more. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share your thoughts on this in the comments below.